Great evening, and great evening once again. I will be right with you, and I have a few things to discuss before we begin. So bear with me for one moment, and I will explain everything to you. Okay, one moment. Okay, so great evening, and great evening once again. Excuse me for looking down just for one. I will be with you in one quick second. Really have some things that I really want to discuss with you before we get started. Um, Struggle is really real. Okay, so sorry about that, and I want to thank you so much for waiting. Um, this evening, I have a lot going on, but I did want to be here. I wanted to be in the present with all of you, and there is something that I truly wanted to discuss, and so here I am on two different platforms. I will be going back and forth, having some technical issues. So before we begin, I just want to say that today has been one of those days. Today marks the second anniversary of my mother's passing. Um, Today, our family received some really horrific news that someone that I considered to be near and dear and family has gone to be with the Lord. And so I'm a bit shaken, but I'm here. I just came off of a podcast with Brent Harris, excuse me. We had some technical difficulties, so I hurried up and tried to get back to the studio as fast as I can. I was with my family, of course, naturally. So here I am taking a deep breath, and I want to thank you for waiting. I appreciate all of you. And so, what happened today before I learned of my loved one's passing? That I was going to do a walk and talk with Sonya. I had been thinking about this heat wave, and I just felt the need um, to be in the present and to just discuss what we can do in this heat wave. And so, I don't know where you guys are joining from, but from my neck of the woods here in Strong Island, New York, it was a scorching 96 degrees when I looked last. 96 degrees, okay? And trust me, I didn't bring this heat to the streets. I might say, bringing the heat to the streets, but not this kind of heat. I didn't. I promise you, I did not bring this heat to the streets, okay? And in that, um, I want to make sure that everyone stays safe and knows what to do, keep themselves free from heat illness. So I'm going to discuss with you 4 ways to prevent this heat wave from becoming ill. Okay, and so I do have some notes here. So number one, we need to be conscientious of the temperature. Okay, know before you walk out that door how hot it might be. Let's move this over a little bit. Okay. Um, and two, stay aware of your body's reaction to the heat wave. Okay. So avoid the strenuous activities, limit the outdoor activities during the peak hours. And the peak hours is when the sun is at its highest. The heat is on. Okay. So if you have some yard work or something like that to do, put that to the side. Worry about that later. Avoid over exertion. Okay. Allow your body to cool down if you feel that you're getting too hot. And what I did today is it was so hot, and I was jogging, and so I didn't want to go outside. So I had a water bottle, a sprayer, and I just when I thought I was getting too hot and the fans and whatnot wasn't necessarily cooling me off as much, I just started to spray myself with the mist of the water, and I was able to cool down that way. And in talking about staying cool, stay in AC spaces as much as possible. Okay, stay indoors, and if you don't have AC, even a fan. Okay, and having the fan, you're increasing that air. Okay, the air movement, and take a cool shower or a bath to help lower your body temperature if you feel like you just can't control it and it's just too hot. And another thing is, I noticed that in some areas, especially in cities, they do have what they call cooling areas, cooling spots where uh, they invite you to come in. It's like senior centers, rec centers, things of that nature, where if you don't have adequate air conditioning or fans, you can go off there and stay there and just kind of cool off in those moments. Wear loose, lightly colored, breathable fabrics to allow for the air to circulate through. I mean, don't wear anything that's too dark or that's too heavy, because all you're going to do is, as a result, you're holding in your body temperature and you're getting hotter. Consider checking on others is number 4, especially the elderly or sickly. People over the age of 85 are more affected by the heat wave. Avoid hot or heavy meals as to not elevate the body temperature as well. Heat stroke is the number one form of heat related illness. Medication awareness is another. Okay, there are certain medications that can increase the risk of heat related illness. So know what medications that you are taking and see if they have some type of adverse effect uh, in the heat. Okay, limits alcohol consumption, which can impair the body's ability to regulate temperature. Okay, and another is a given. I wasn't going to talk about it. It's the obvious, but again, the obvious we need to discuss is don't leave your children nor your pets in the car, even if you have the windows cracked. Okay, that is a definite no-no. I'm sure we all know this. I mean, don't even leave the car on with the air conditioning and be elsewhere. Just don't do it, because we all know what can happen if children or pets are in the car for too long, and the even with it cracked, the air quality in the car, it becomes way too hot and they can expire. So let's be conscientious of that. And I know for me, like when I get out the car, even when I don't have my grandson, I know his car seat is in the car. I'm still always just being conscious and looking, and I'm like, all right, yeah, I know he's not there, but I'm still looking. It's just a precautionary. It's just something that mentally I'm aware of. So, if you follow these tips, you can you can significantly reduce your risk of heat-related illness and stay safe during heat waves. Now, you know me, things pop up in my head. And like I said, I was going to do this earlier today as a walk and talk with Sonya, but I felt compelled not to and wait and do it as a special later on the day so that people would be able to see it or watch the replay in its entirety later on. So, just in the event that there's someone new that's watching tonight and you don't know who I am, my name is Sonya Dungee, and I am a transformation coach, and I have a story worth telling. So for me, I became a transformation coach because 4+ years ago, I was stuck. I was stuck in grief. I was stuck for 342 days, stuck too long. And I'm not telling you not to grieve. We all go through the grieving process. I mean, my family's going through it at this very moment. One, my mom passed away, like I said, 2 years ago today. My dad went to be with the Lord 4 years plus ago, and because of my dad's passing, I was stuck. I was lost. I was broken. I didn't know if I was going or coming. I lost a lot of weight very quickly. Had I tried to, I wouldn't have been able to do it. Um, I thought I was taking on the grief alone because I knew that my family was grieving and I didn't want to add to their grief. So I suffered in silence. I had no direction. I had no end in sight. And it wasn't until enough became enough and I just couldn't do it any longer. And if you could see, this is my dad up here. This is the reason why I tell my story. Because me being stuck in grief started on January 23rd, 2021 at exactly 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time at the VA hospital on a Saturday in Northport, New York. And it was as I sat at my dad's bedside and I held his left hand, I witnessed that tear come down his cheek. And in that moment, I saw my dad take his last breath on this earth and his first breath in heaven. And when stuck became enough, I decided to do something about it. Because you see, willpower alone will never outdo a community. And I knew I couldn't do it any longer because it didn't work for me for the 342 days that I tried. So I went and I seek the support of my now coach and mentor, Mr. Darren Walker, and my Be Iconic community. Because, I needed their support. I needed to be around like-minded individuals who were traveling in the same direction and that were going to hold me accountable, but be non-judgmental. And I knew I needed that as well. And so I invested in myself. I poured into myself. I showed up for myself. In the beginning, I was like, I'm going to show him I can do it. I can do it. Because he told me if I was teachable and if I was coachable and if I did the work and I showed up, he would help me. And in the beginning, I was like, I'm going to show my coach I can do this. I want it more than anything. I was the biggest crybaby, y'all. I cried. I was so broken. I was so hurt. I cried all the time until those tears became tears of joy because I felt that I was being helped and I knew I was around a community. And it wasn't that I couldn't speak to my family. I just chose not to because I didn't want to be a burden. But once I poured into myself and once I did the work and once I was coachable and I never missed a class, all these years later, I still haven't missed a class. And I just say that because it's just because I just wanted it so badly. And every time there was a new class with new students, I was in that class too. Every Monday. And my class was every other Thursday, but I was in every Monday class and I was in every Thursday class, my class and then the other class. And I'm not saying this, sharing this to gloat with anybody. I'm just saying that this is what I needed to do. This is what worked for me. And as a result, I had this, I don't know how to explain it, this dream, this something where my dad said to me, I left you a gift. And every day I'm thankful for the gift. And I'm thankful for the story, for the grief, for the life challenges, for the hardships in life that I've gone through that got me where I am today. So today I am a transformation coach and I get to help those that are struggling in hardship and grief and life challenges go from suffering in silence and broken with no direction and no end in sight, just as I did, to become unstuck and resilient with clarity and an attitude of expectation and excellence, achieving economic independence so that they too can be destined for their greatness and walk fully in their God-given purpose. And so I leave you with that tonight. And also, I am going to have my next master class on Wednesday, July the 2nd at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I welcome all of you to join. It is free. I will drop in the comments afterwards how you can sign up. Seats are limited based on first come, first served. Um, we are in the end of the second quarter, everyone. And I know I talk about stuck and I talk about transformation and I talk about walking in purpose and moving forward and striving in 2025 to become resilient. In this day and in this time, in between spiritual and political warfare, we've got to get it together as individuals for ourselves and not worry about the things that's going on around us. And when spiritual warfare comes for us, and I know when it comes for me, I know that there's four voices. There's God's voice is my number one. There's my voice. There's others' voices, and there's the enemy's voice that I don't give it any shine. The enemy, when I feel like he's coming for me, I tell him to get out of here. You can't have me. You can't have my family. You cannot have my friends. You cannot have my life. You can't have my business. Get out of here. And I mean it. But we've got to unite. We've got to come together. Let's start to do this. Let's do this. Let's end the second quarter on a high note. Let's move into the third quarter, striving to thrive so that we can become resilient. Tomorrow will be my normal time for the Sonya Dungee podcast, episode 162. I know this is 163, but I added it before 162, obviously. So we're going to talk about moving forward from stuck. And we're going to talk about stuck is not by luck. And we're going to talk about ways to move forward. I want to help you. But you have to be willing and you have to be ready and you have to be able to move forward. I can't make you do it. Stuck is stuck. And that's your decision whether you choose to stay in it or you're ready to move forward. So if you're ready to move forward and you just need the direction and you just need to know how, I will be more than glad to help you. And a matter of fact, you can get yourself scheduled in a heart-to-heart with Sonya. That's a free 30-minute one-on-one. Now, I've extended the olive branch earlier in previous podcasts, and I did say the first person received 1 hour, and they did. The second person, 45. The third, 30. But I'm also extending that to you for a free 30-minute with me. You bring your draft. I'll bring my life blueprint, proven system, and together we can help you get on your way to strive in 2025. Until tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, be safe, stay well. God bless you all, and bye for now.